All right. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but here I am having to do it. Now, my wife and I are obviously not Catholic. We believe the gospel, the good news of our salvation, that Jesus Christ saved us 2,000 years ago. And our faith in that is what saves us, not being part of a certain church, doing certain rituals, or what have you. And I know she's saved. I know she's in heaven right now, waiting for all this to be over with. But her parents, who know her beliefs, because she's posted them, she's talked to them about the gospel. And she talked to me about how she wants them saved, but they're very stubborn and they won't listen. So she would just pray for her. And, that's all we could do, right? You can't force people to believe things. But, they don't respect their daughter. They don't respect me. They are Catholic, so they wanted to do Catholic things, Catholic rituals when she passed. And I told them I didn't mind. If that's what they want to do, they can do it. Because I wanted them to say, you know what? No, my daughter didn't believe this stuff. I'm not going to do this. But, they didn't care about their daughter and what she believed. It was about what they believe. So they were going to do their rituals no matter what. And that's what they did. Now, in the end, it doesn't matter. That's why I let them do it. So they got it, and they're still not happy because about an hour or so ago, I got a message from my father-in-law requesting certain items. And these are not things of sentimental value, such as this blankie that they gave her, that she's had since a child, that I actually took to the funeral and had it placed where you come in to see her, and with a few of her other items. Now, these don't have any monetary value, and they didn't request those things. They didn't take them when they left. But they're requesting some things of monetary value. Now, granted, they're retired. They don't need the money. They don't need any of that. They just want it, and they don't want me to have it. Namely, 2 cars. That is what they want. And when I told them, or I told him, well, I may need to sell these things to stay afloat, his response wasn't, well, I understand, or maybe we can work something out where I can buy it back. Obviously not for the full price, but we can come to some kind of deal. And that wasn't the response. The response was, I don't know what makes you think that these belong to you when you didn't buy them. We bought them for her. And it was like, well, they're no longer yours. You gave it to her. That means it's hers. And I'm her husband. And now that she's passed, they are mine. And since you want to be unreasonable, you want to disrespect her with this Catholic stuff, disrespecting her beliefs, not caring what she believes, and now you don't want to talk to me about, hey, making some kind of deal. And my sister-in-law even said, they mentioned something about getting a lawyer, and what have you. Now I'm not going to go along with this. And if they get a lawyer, good. They can blow their money on that. We can drag it out as long as possible, too. And they don't really have much of a case because they have no right to it. If you buy somebody a gift, you don't get it back. Right? It's theirs now. They do with it what they want to do with it. And legally and lawfully, it passes to me. That's how it works. And they should know this because they have someone else in the family, married to one of their brothers, who has the actual ownership of their parents' house. Or one of their father's house is actually owned by somebody not related by blood because of marriage and all that stuff. Legally and lawfully, it's hers. Right? And there's nothing they can do about it. They can try to go to court and waste their money trying to get it back, but it ain't going to happen. So instead of them trying to reason with me, showing some kind of respect, which is not something they're going to do because they're not respectful people, this is what they're doing. So I imagine this is just going to escalate, especially since the last time I actually talked to him face to face, trying to actually establish the funeral. His line of questioning was kind of implying I'm to blame. Like, one of his questions was, why didn't she want to go to MD Anderson? And it was kind of acting as though I have complete control over my wife. She does everything I say, which would have been nice, because if she did everything I said, she probably would have stayed on iBrands. And when she decided we're going to do something else, she would listen to me when I kept trying to get her to stick to it, to be disciplined. And then, that would have saved a lot of issues. Matter of fact, I tried to prevent all this. Years ago, I was talking about diet and how these things can lead to certain things like cancer. So if I was listened to years ago about changing her diet, this might have never even happened in the first place. So to act like I have some kind of mind control over her is ridiculous, right? I mean, if that was the case, life would have been a lot easier. If could you imagine that if your wife actually listened to everything you said? When you told her not to do something, she didn't do it. When you told her to do something, she did it. I mean, that would be a crazy world, right? But yeah, so I imagine some of this is just because of he's hurt, he's upset, and the 5 stages of grief, and he's angry at me, and he probably blames me, even though he's not saying it, because I had those same feelings where I was like, you know what, you and your wife encouraged her horrible diet. Even when she had the cancer and you knew she had the cancer and she would come over and say, I need to stay away from these certain foods, you would put her in the face and go, hey, have some. And then you want to act like you give a shit about her and give a shit about her health and about what's going on, and I'm the one to blame. That's bullshit, and you know it. And they're probably feeling not only pain of loss, but also probably some guilt. And they're trying to just take that frustration and anger out on me. And yeah, I imagine this is just the start of it. So another thing I'm going to put up here is that my wife was looking forward to these events that we see in the world. I know some of you may think this is stupid or funny or something, but she was really looking for the rapture real soon. She was more adamant about it being soon than I was. And she gave her copy of the house key to her my in-laws, to her parents. Not saying that they're going to do anything nefarious, but I'm just making a note of that in case all of a sudden there's no sign of break-in, but all of a sudden there's stuff missing from my house when I happen to leave. Because if I leave, it is probably because a family member gave me a ride somewhere and I'm going to hang with them, so they know that I'm not here. So they may break in and try to, well, not technically break in, but they may try to come in and look for some of those items. Again, monetary value, nothing of actually sentimental value. Showing where their heart really is. That this is definitely coming from a place of just bitterness, vengeance, hate, because if I've done anything to them, they're not telling me what it is. Right? They're not telling me what I've said or did that offended them. So, as far as I know, the only reason why they're doing this is just out of spite, just because they're upset. But I don't know if they're going to go through the 5 stages of grief and calm down, and this will wash away, or not. So I have to do something like this so that everybody knows my side, because they're not going to tell my side. As a matter of fact, I expect them to misrepresent my side. So here it is. Thanks for watching. Take care, and these are rough times. So if you can, take some time here, pray for me. Like, share, because I know not everybody can support financially. But if you can support some financially, I would appreciate it. It would help out, especially dealing with what may come of this. And yes, just more drama that is not needed. It really isn't. There's really no reason for them to be doing this. They don't need the items. They don't need the money from selling the items. They just want them and don't want me to have them. Now, if they wanted something with some sentimental value, showing that they actually gave a shit about their daughter and cared about her beliefs and stuff, but they don't. And that's obvious, because actions speak louder than words. Because I imagine they'll say, oh yeah, we do respect her and her beliefs, and we respect you, JD, and all this. It's like, yeah, you say that out of one side of your forked-tongued mouth, but then you go and do the exact opposite, right? Like his wife saying, oh yeah, you're part of the family, even though she's gone, you're still part of the family. Well, then why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take everything and leave me with nothing? What's up with that? Everything with monetary value anyway. So, yeah, that is that. Thanks again for watching, and pray for me.